Welcome to Flourish, the podcast for faith-driven mompreneurs who are ready to release overwhelm, create sustainable, healthy habits, and build purpose-driven businesses aligned with their faith, family, and vision. I'm Stephanie Book, a transformational mindset, wellness, and business coach. I'm here to equip you with the tools, mindset shifts, and encouragement to help you flourish. If you're ready to grow a thriving life and business while staying aligned with your faith, purpose, and priorities, you're in the right place. You are worthy and capable of living a full and flourishing life. Success isn't just possible, it's meant for you. Let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome to the Flourish podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I'm so glad that you are here. Today, we're going to do the final episode of our Chaos to Calm series. So over the last few weeks, we've been pausing, taking some time to really have an intentional plan for our summer, to step away from the chaos, especially this time of year as things are closing up and we're stepping into the next season. And instead of just jumping right in, we're giving ourselves some space so that we can enter into the season with a calm and collected feeling, but yet have some structure, but still allow us to have fun and be able to enjoy it. Giving ourselves some anchor points where we know these certain things that keep us grounded and keep us on track of the things that we want to do, but allowing that space for fun and for the different schedules and things that are just a little less structured, but also gives you that structure so that by the time the summer is ending, you're not feeling so extremely ready for school to start or for the fall to come in, but more of like, okay, I've had this rhythm and now I get to move into the next season, but feeling like you have had some good chance of peace and calm. So we're going to continue to work through that series. If you missed either of those episodes, please just check the show notes. I'll have them linked in there as well, or you can reach me on Instagram at steph.book and ask me about them, or just put a comment below and I will make sure to get the right episodes for you. So it's just been over the last couple of weeks. But those will help you, especially if you're coming into this and you're like, wait, what is she talking about? Just go back to those other episodes and you should be good. So this week, I want to help you take action. We want you to be able to step in with grace and create those rhythms that we've talked about and really step in and be able to create that summer that you want. So the first thing we want to do is really just start. I think that that's the biggest part is we can spend a lot of time planning and we want to plan, but we really need to just take that step just to move forward and actually set a date and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. When we're stuck and we're stuck in that thinking mode and we're not making any steps toward changing or doing the things that we're going to say, then, we can start feeling that overwhelm again. Clarity leads to confidence. Consistency comes from movement, not perfection. So we get to slowly move through those movements and start implementing the different things that we'd like to see. So I would like you to get an idea of a great routine. It doesn't have to be perfect, but like a rhythm that is flexible. It's got, it's faith-filled. It's honest to where you are right now. And we want to make sure we keep that in mind. If we've spent some time reflecting on what we want and what we don't want, we've chosen those words that we want to define our summer, and we've looked at some of those anchor points, then we're able to really have a clear picture of who we are, where we're at this season, and what we want to do. So I want to remind you that, the done is better than perfect. So you don't have to look for perfection. You're going to try some things and some things will work and some things don't work. So remind yourself that, just that little bit of doing is better than being perfect. And adjusting doesn't mean you're failing. It means that you're listening, you're understanding, you're really understanding where you are and where you want to go. So progress over pressure, right? Progress, not perfection, grace over guilt. So move away those guilt feelings. If everything doesn't go as way you planned, then maybe you didn't quite find that right rhythm. So give yourself some grace, but keep stepping into it. Definitely don't just put it off and try it and then, it didn't work. Maybe you just need to adjust it, and it's okay to do that. So the first thing we want to do is pick a start date, right? So we want that rhythm to come. We want to feel good and ready for the summer. We need to pick a start date. And I know, yes, summer just starts, but if we have that specific date of like, okay, I've reflected, I know where I want to go, and I'm establishing these rhythms. So let's go. Let's start and pick a date. So maybe it's like you give yourself, I talked about, maybe having a week or so of just relaxing, stepping away from all the routine, just letting out some of that, getting out the wiggles with your kids, just giving them some like kind of not free for all, but just giving yourself some time just to decompress, right? But then we want to pick a start date because we want these rhythms. We don't want to wait too long. So whether it's maybe you give yourself a week and then the following Monday after school is done, or after you've made your decision of what you want to do, you can step in and say, okay, we're going to start. And I would say just choose maybe one, maybe two anchor points to start off with. And then you can build those as the summer goes. Because I think a lot of time we jump in and we try to do everything at one time. We have all these grand ideas. And I don't know about you, I'm one of those people that has like a million different goals and dreams that they want to do. And then you just want to try to do them all. And then we're overwhelmed and we're not getting anything done. So choose 1 to 2 anchor points. Again, if you missed about talking about the anchors, you can go back to last week's episode and you can hear about those and what I'm talking about. But basically finding a couple things that are in your day-to-day life that you always do, something that is an anchor, something that is like that's kind of that foundation. So that is something that kind of helps keep you in track, on track to what you want your summer to be, and just gives you some of that order and structure. So maybe it's your morning routine. Maybe that's the one thing you really want to focus on to make sure you're getting that down. So, if your mornings start off well, then you're going to be set for the rest of the day. Or maybe it's a midday reset. Maybe you start in the morning really well, but then the afternoon comes and then everything falls apart. So maybe you want that middle part of the day to be that reset time where you're taking a walk, or you're just stepping away from the work, or giving your kids some downtime so that you can have some downtime. Whatever that is, that midday reset that you are going to establish, maybe that's what it is. Or maybe the evening slowdown. Maybe you want to make sure that you are giving yourself some time to relax and walk away from social media or any type of media and give yourself some quiet time, allowing your kids to wind down a little bit before they go to bed or whatever it is. So maybe it's the evening slowdown, right? So just pick at least 1, maybe 2. And of course, there's more of those that we talked about last week, but you can go in and decipher what the anchor point would be for yourself and what you want to focus on, and then pick that start date and just jump in. Okay. So, and then the next part is reviewing, checking in weekly, setting aside maybe 10 minutes. I'm not talking like hours of time, but 5-10 minutes to just evaluate your week. This is going to give you the opportunity to grow. It will give you that chance to see if the things that you're doing are working, if they need to be tweaked. And again, remember, it's not failure. If something didn't work right, it's okay. Maybe it needs to be adjusted. Maybe it's not the right time for that specific thing to happen. So take about 10 minutes and just say, what worked last week? What did I do last week that really worked well? Was the morning routine that I do like, was it really, really great for me? Or is there something that I need to shift? Is there something that you were trying to do in your morning routine and you thought, nope, I'm not getting up that early as much as I said I wanted to? Maybe that's not where the rhythm is, because maybe you're getting to bed a little bit later, and so you need that extra sleep in the morning. So what needs to shift? What might need to be changed a little bit? And you can try it for the next week. And where do I need more margin or support? So maybe you're planning things too tightly, right? So we're wanting to have structure, but not such structure that doesn't give us that flow. So maybe there's an area where you need a little bit of extra space in there, or maybe you need some support. Maybe you're like, I really want to be able to do this evening routine, but I have all these other responsibilities. Maybe you can ask someone to help you with your kids so you can take a walk, or maybe I don't know, whatever is coming to mind that maybe you might need some extra support in there. Maybe that midday reset, maybe you need a little bit more support, or a way that you can find a way to give yourself that chance to do that reset. So give yourself evaluation, not to be harsh on yourself, not to be picky, but just to evaluate, because we want this sense of calm and order, but we also want to enjoy it. So if you feel like you're too strict, then maybe you need to step back a little bit. Maybe if it's way too loose still, you're like, I need a little bit more structure, then you'll know. Okay. So that's a great next step to do. And it gets us in that rhythm. So we're wanting to pick a start date. We're picking those 1 or 2 anchor points that we are going to focus on first. And then as the time goes, as you get used to that flow, and after you've evaluated a few weeks and you're like, okay, I feel really good with this rhythm, I like this, you can add in another anchor point, or you can continue adjust till that feels good. And then after a week or so, you're like, oh, this is good, and you can add in another anchor point. So give yourself some grace and allow yourself to learn those anchor points and feel good with it, because again, we want you to have a calm summer, not a crazy strict summer. So these will hopefully help you. So another thing you can do is put some visual reminders of your rhythm that you want to put down. Maybe it's a sticky note on the refrigerator to remind you the couple things to do if you're focusing on the morning of your day, or maybe on your phone, putting like a reminder on your phone, or something that just says reset this afternoon. And or maybe it's a picture that when you look at it, you remind yourself, oh, this afternoon, I want to make sure that I take that afternoon reset. Maybe put something on your Trello or on your calendar or something on a whiteboard, right? Sometimes you have those kitchen whiteboards or chalkboards or something like that. Maybe you need to remind yourself to step into your rhythm or something. So, keep it in line of sight so that you're seeing it. So making sure, if it's in your calendar, is your calendar open? Are you going to see it? Or maybe you put it on your computer or on your dashboard in your car or at the kitchen sink. I feel like we've spent a lot of time in the kitchen sink or in the bathroom in the mirror. So those are some places that you're going to see every day. So put those reminders in there and give yourself, so that you're not trying to hold it all in your mind. So you're able to live through your life and not feel so full inside your brain. And it's releasing that, even having that reminder, it's not something that you have to store in your head. Hey friends, before we go any farther into the episode, I just wanted to make sure that you knew all about my Flourish community. We have a great community of women who are just like you, who are wanting to grow, who are stepping into either business or really wanting to focus on your faith and the growth of your family or your lifestyle. And you're really wanting some other women that are like-minded to join the journey with you. And so I would love to invite you to our free community group for Flourish. It's called Flourish. And so just put Flourish in the comments or message me at steph.book on Instagram or on Messenger and on Facebook. And I will be glad to send you a link to join us, because I think that it's really good for us. They say that you're most like the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And so if you have those goals and ways that you want to continue to grow in your faith and in your business and just really living that full and flourishing life that we talk about on here, then this is a great place for you to be. So please join us in our Flourish community. There will also be a link in the show notes so that you can join us as well. Okay, so we've talked about how to step into that rhythm, picking a date, finding those anchor points we want to focus on, and making sure that we are setting that rhythm for the things that we want to do, and then taking some time to evaluate, right? We've walked through those whole steps, but now let's say we're midsummer and, oh my goodness, you completely fell off those anchor points. It's okay, right? I said we want to give ourselves some grace. We're looking at progress, not perfection. So I wanted to give you a little bit of encouragement, as the times when you will fall off. And I promise you are going to fall off. You are not going to always be perfect. Like life throws us curveballs all the time. You might be traveling, or maybe you get tired. Maybe you just didn't get the right kind of sleep that you needed and it just threw off the day. I know I even had one this last week where I just didn't sleep really well, and I got up and I wasn't in my normal rhythm, and things just fell off the whole day. You know what? And that's okay. That's going to happen sometimes. It doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that you need to reset. It's okay. You need to be kind to yourself and know you're human. It happens, okay? But what I want to encourage you is, if this does happen, or when it does happen, I want to make sure that you know that just because it happened doesn't mean that you're failure and that it's done. Just because you've messed up that rhythm one day, it doesn't ruin the rhythm for everything. And I think a lot of times we look at that. We try to do too many things at once, and then we feel overwhelmed and we stop, or we make a mistake, or we make a misstep, or we make a choice that maybe doesn't follow aligned with what we said we were going to do, and then we immediately give up. Or we'll be like, oh, well, I'll start that again on Monday. But then Monday comes and it gets pushed off and off again. And we do that with our health journey as well. So I encourage you, a couple hours later, just take a deep breath and step right back in. What's that next anchor point that you can focus on, and just focus on that. So if you missed, maybe you're at the point and you have a couple anchor points in your day and you totally messed up the first 2. Guess what? Maybe you have your evening anchor point that you can be like, and this resets your rhythm. With my health clients, I always talk about that. If you step off, if you make a choice that's maybe not aligning with your health goals, then you can stop and reset, and guess what? Drink a glass of water, have a fueling, and you'll jump right back onto that rhythm. We don't need to wait till the next day. We don't need to wait till Monday. Just start right then. You just start right back into those rhythms and give yourself some grace. It's okay. It's not failure. It's every step that you're taking is moving you forward. So some ways that you can go back to this, maybe having those 3 words that you want for your summer that we talked about in the first episode of this series, then you can maybe go back and look at those words. Maybe you need to have those words up on the refrigerator as well, or on your dashboard in your car, or maybe in the bathroom, in the mirror, so that you can see those words when you're coming. So it keeps you that vision clear of what you want to create. Revisit what you want to see. Why was that important to you? Why did you choose those words? What did you want your summer to look like? And then really, again, just go back to those anchor points. Those anchor points were there. That's why we worked on them, to make sure we have those created. And so just focus on one of those anchor points and let it draw you back in. And so give yourself some grace. And there will be days, like I said, that you will step off and you won't be able to really go through the day as normal. Like this whole week has been weird for me because my son is home visiting and I'm enjoying so much of that rhythm. But by the time he gets up, I kind of finish some of my morning routine, and then he's there, and it's kind of thrown that off. But I'm not going to give up those coffee talks for anything, because he's here for a week. And so by the time you listen to this, he will already be back and going back home to his home. And so I adjusted my rhythm a little bit. It wasn't always the flow that I want it to be. It didn't mean that I was a failure, that I wasn't doing the calm or the anchor points. Some of the anchor points that later in the day would bring me because I had something in the morning, but then later on the day, it was all kind of wishy-washy. And then by the time the next morning came, I had that anchor point again. And so that's okay. Sometimes your rhythms are going to be messed up, but just don't stop. Just keep going. Just return to what is grounding you, and you'll be good. And, don't let that one rough day or those rough couple days have you quit the whole thing. You've built that foundation and you can return to it anytime. Okay? So a verse that I thought would be good for us to focus on this week is Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. What you're doing, you're creating peace, intention, presence, all of that matters. I think sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to look a certain way, or we want to make everybody think that our rhythms are perfect and everything that we're doing is just flowing like a wonderful flowing river. But it doesn't always work that way, right? We have those rocks that mess up the flow of the river, right? We have those big boulders that are in the way that we have to go around and we have to go over and around, all those different ways. So when we're flowing like a river, but there's obstacles that come along, and that will happen in your journey over the summer. But it doesn't need to be the only thing that you focus on. You can look at those anchor points and know that eventually you'll go around the bend and you'll be able to get back into the rhythm, back into that flowing river that you want again. So let your summer be shaped at your pace, not pressure. And then find that rhythm that works for you, but just don't give up. Make sure that you continue to look for those anchor points, and that will give you that sense of rhythm, that sense of calm that we've been talking about, because we want, like I said, we want to have a summer that is free and fun and enjoyable. But when we have those anchor points, we have that little bit of structure, it will keep us more aligned to what we want it to create for our summer. We have those words, we have the mind of what we want to see for our summer, and we want to have time of rest and fun and be able to enjoy the outdoors and just take in that part of summer, because we all long for those summer months. So let's make the most of it and step into those rhythms. So I challenge you this week to begin. Find a start date. You don't have to start this week, but find a start date that you can jump into this new way of rhythm for your summer. Pick 1, maybe 2 anchor points, write them down, and then take that first step towards that peaceful summer, right? So and then at the end of that week, whenever you start, then find that time to review it so that did this work? Did it not work? What could I change? What would make it better for me? What would I do differently next week? What made it great? And what are you excited about learning? Please make sure that you have grabbed the resource, the Summer Reset Reflection journal that I have. I talked about that on the first episode. That is still available to you to help you kind of in that planning stage. So especially if you've missed those first couple episodes, this will help you find those anchor words or anchor points and find those summer words for you. And then I also have a summer rhythm checklist. So once you have a rhythm down, it will kind of give you some ideas or some things you can check off each day. And it's a broad list, but it will give you like maybe the few things that you're focusing on will be there, or maybe you can create your own. But I have a sample of a summer rhythm checklist that you can download. And then if you're really wanting some help, if you're like, Stephanie, this sounds great, but I just need a little bit more help or figuring out what I want for my summer, or I've never put anything into rhythm before, could you help me? So if you're feeling like you're maybe needing a little bit of help, or you just want to have a conversation, I'm offering free conversations right now. So if you would like to jump on my calendar, just put chat in the comments or message me on Instagram at steph.book or on Facebook Messenger, and just let me know, hey, I would love just to have a chat with you. It's a free 15-minute call. We can chat, see what kind of rhythms you want to create, and see if I can help you, because I really want you to be able to have a summer that you can remember that's calm, and you're not in that chaos. You're not feeling overwhelmed, and you're going to be able to enjoy the time that you have been looking forward to. At least I know I'm looking forward to having summer and having the warmth and being able to be outside and just enjoy that different feel that summer brings. And so I want you to be able to enjoy that as well. Please remember to take a screenshot of you listening to the episode, or share this episode with someone else and tag me on Instagram or on Facebook, and just bring them over here. It will allow them to be able to have a summer that they can have that chaos to calm, but also helps me help other people hear these tips that I'm sharing, and hopefully allow them to create what they want, the full and flourishing life that they deserve and that they want to have as well. Remember, I have my giveaway going on, so if you share it and tag me, I will put your name into a hat for my favorite book bundle. I will be choosing the winner on June 1st, so make sure that you share away so that you can be added into that entry, because I would love to be able to gift one happy person with my favorite book bundle. So that goes to the end of the month. So make sure that you share it and tag me so that I can put you in for that drawing. My friends, I truly hope that today was helpful. And again, as always, please share it with anyone that you think it would be helpful to, and invite them to share it as well. And they can be put in the drawing too. But I just really loved being able to come to you each week and be able to share the different things that are on my heart, things that I've learned that hopefully will help you along the way. So please make sure that you share it with whoever it might help. And then don't forget about the Flourish Affirmation series that is going on right now. I just 2 weeks are already done, and I have 4 more weeks to go, and they're really short episodes. I think they're only about 2.5 minutes. So, and I have it in a separate section on YouTube. So it's a Flourish Affirmation series, and on Spotify or wherever you're listening audio, you'll be able to just grab them in the regular podcast list. But friends, please make sure you listen to those. I have a little bit of an affirmation, a scripture, and a little bit of a encouragement journal prompt that you can do, and literally it takes about 2.5 minutes, and I have music with it. So I hope that you would enjoy those as well. Friends, please remember that you are worthy and capable of living a full and flourishing life. Success isn't just possible, it's meant for you. Take care. Thank you for joining me on Flourish. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired and equipped to take your next step with confidence. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who needs this encouragement. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at steph.book and join our Facebook community of faith-driven women who are ready to flourish. Make sure to check out the show notes for all the ways we can connect and continue this journey of growth together. My friends, remember, you are worthy and capable of living a full and flourishing life. Success isn't just possible, it's meant for you. Take care.